Hey guys, what's going on? So we got another trailer for the Penguin spinoff. So I think this is going to be really interesting. It's going to be 8 episodes, going to now come out this fall. So I think there'll be some overlap with Halloween, given the Batman 2 delay and that still being listed as coming out now in October 2026. It really seems like there's a heavy Halloween focus for the release of everything with this new Batman saga. Colin Farrell did a really good job with his portrayal of the Penguin in the first film, so I think that's obviously why this got greenlit. So it looks like it's gonna be a mob style show in Gotham. You have the heavy Godfather references in the first film, so I think this will go a step further than that. Maybe also a little bit of a Sopranos feel, given this is a TV show. And Matt Reeves is listed as the executive producer. I think he has a heavy hand in this, even though he's probably really tied up with doing a lot of the writing. But it is going to be directed by Craig Zobel here. And my best guess is that this is going to be something like The Long Halloween, just given the Falcone family and everything that's going to happen following the power dynamic that's up for grabs in Gotham. And then just going off of the excerpt from the Penguin in the trailer, I think there's going to be a heavy focus on status, just given what he was explaining. So I think that's really going to be what Oz's character development is going to be centered around in this. And looking at the cast members for some of this, I think we are going to get a heavy focus on the Falcone family. We know that Carmine Falcone died in the first film, so I think both of his kids in this instance could likely take over as his heir, and they could possibly clash with the Penguin since he's interested in becoming the new Don as well. I think we might also get a hint of the next villain in something like this, since it is that stepping stone to the sequel. Obviously, the show's taking place within Gotham, so I think there's going to be a lot of a continued theme of corruption as well, just given off of a lot of the plot points in the first film. And going back to that character development of Oz, I think we'll likely see here not a whole lot of change maybe within his specific personality, but again, going back to that status symbol, before he was labeled as just being a gimp in a suit, and then I think in a lot of instances he was really pushed around by Batman. So I think now through the duration of this show, he's going to become much more of a kingpin, much more of a force to be reckoned with. So I think he'll likely take over the Iceberg Lounge. You have that elevator scene in the trailer. So maybe now he's moving up from his side office to the upstairs lair that was once Carmine Falcone, because he's now taking power. But also maybe he's going to visit someone else who has taken over the main vault in the Iceberg Lounge. Maybe that's one of Falcone's kids, and there's a huge clash there. But also just thinking about how everything played out in the first movie, it's also where eventually the police come to arrest Falcone, so maybe now the Iceberg Lounge isn't the best hideout. It also looks like there's going to be some instances of the Maroni crime family as well, so maybe there's also a power divide between different families in Gotham. And I think the show really has to do a good job of setting up the sequel. I think that's why we might get something like the next villain. Looking into the listed cast members, you have someone like Mark Strong who's playing Carmine Falcone. Maybe this is just for a flashback because they couldn't get the original actor, but maybe this is also a cover-up for someone like Mr. Freeze being set up for the sequel, or just a new villain in general, and they don't want to list his real name in the show to give it away. But I think there could also be something such as Robin being set up in the show as well. Maybe he becomes a victim with this really heavy corruption still ongoing in Gotham. Or maybe there's something with Batman himself, some sort of a cameo. Maybe Robert Pattinson will just portray Bruce Wayne in some sense. So I think they have something unique planned to just include a little glimpse of him in some shape or form. They started production for this in February 2023, so I think it's unlikely we'll get a second season of this before the Batman 2 comes out, because Colin Farrell is probably going to play the Penguin in that as well, so they're going to be filming for that. So I think this is probably just a one and done, depending on how it goes. I think it'll be really important to continue that hype and anticipation for the sequel, especially with that delay. But I do think this show will deliver. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of this Batman universe. Feel free to let me know your guys' thoughts or predictions for this show. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you later.